And as time goes on, with this being the longest hiatus without a new Gears game ever, the fanbase continues to lose hope for there ever being a return to fame from their beloved franchise. All they could do is accept that the game is officially dead and move on to other titles that still get love. It may very well be the end for Gears of War.
But before we dive into the Direct, we've saved one more thing.
World premiere.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. What?
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
That's right, gang. My infamous Why Gears is Dead video ironically only survived for like 3 months before it got rebutted. The Coalition has finally announced their next mainline entry to the Gears of War franchise, and to everyone's much pleasant surprise, it isn't Gears 6. During Xbox's showcase on June 9th, fans were left wondering if there was even going to be a new Gears of War announcement. As trailer after trailer went by, hopes and dreams dwindled. The showcase itself was honestly a masterpiece, being one of the best Xbox showcases that they've had in years. Absolutely ratioing Summer Game Fest. However, die-hard Gears fans were left on their knees, praying that they reveal anything Gears related. Then finally, when almost everything seemed lost, our prayers were answered. Most fans expected the continuation of the Kate Diaz storyline. Others anticipated the much-desired Marcus Phoenix collection, but almost no one expected what was delivered. That's right, a prequel to the Gears of War series set on the very day that the Locust Horde emerged, Gears of War E-Day. The trailer takes place within what seems to be a small living space that appears to have been left abandoned in a panic. The TV remains on as an emergency announcement is shown on the screen. The silence is then interrupted by Marcus and a Locust drone bursting through the wall. The drone looks to be giving Marcus that work, not leaving him any opportunity to grab his Lancer and tossing him around ragdoll style. Marcus retaliates by smashing the TV into the drone's face, but it only temporarily stuns it for enough time for Marcus to grab his Lancer. Still, the drone has overwhelming strength and continues to corner Marcus, pinning him to both the ceiling and the wall. But Marcus, being the GOAT pro tag he is, outwits the beast and pops his head good old-fashioned Gear style. His victory is short-lived because an emergence hole spawns in right under the building he is in. With only a flimsy pipe to hold him up, it looks like the end of the road for Marcus. Until a hand pops down and pulls him back up. The hand belongs to none other than the GOAT of all Player 2 characters, Dominic Santiago. The hype is through the roof, as he hands Marcus his bandana and they turn to witness the destruction that is now the battlegrounds for the human Locust War. Emergence Day is upon us. What an amazing way to end off the show, and what a masterpiece of a trailer to bring back hype to the Gears of War franchise. Over these last few years, most of the community was beginning to lose hope for their beloved video game series. As the years went by with no new Gears content, many began to give up and abandon hope, even declaring the franchise dead. Gears 6 was something that had been on fans' radars for the longest, but there wasn't too much stock being put into the game being good, seeing as how Gears 5 flopped the way it did. So die-hard fans looked to a potential Gears collection being released. If 6 couldn't save them, maybe a remastered version of Gears 2 and 3 would bring the series back. But little did people know that the thing that would revive the Gears of War franchise was what people had been asking for the longest. No one thought it was possible, but still, some fans still pondered the idea of there being a prequel for the franchise, taking place either during the Pendulum War or E-Day. Gears of War was trending on Twitter, and the trailer was in the top 10 for trending in gaming on YouTube. Many lost and forgotten Gears fans returned from the shadows to show love to the franchise. One interesting thing I noticed when watching all these reactions to the trailer is that most people didn't even realize that it was a prequel until the very end when the title card came up.
Oh no, it is. Wait, this is a prequel.
Some people didn't even know that it was Marcus in the video until he got his bandana back.
Oh wait, that's not him, right? Oh, that's Son. That is Marcus, right?
Apparently he pulled a Superman to Clark Kent. One moment he's Marcus Phoenix, but then as soon as he loses his bandana, he's a rando, or JD in some cases, causing people to still think it is Gear 6 opposed to a prequel.
They gave him his hair back? Is that supposed to be JD?
The trailer even tugged on many OG fans' heartstrings, including myself. The orchestral version of the song Mad World was a callback to the famous Gears of War 1 trailer.
A big spider, and then he's gonna shoot upwards at it. Cue Mad World.
As well as a callback to Dom's death in Gears 3. Leaving for a somber but welcoming reintroduction to our beloved Player 2. The trailer also succeeds in showing how this Gears of War is going to return back to its roots. The original Gears trilogy, Gears 1 specifically, was known for its horror undertones. Although it was an action third-person shooter game, it also had lots of horror aspects, which made the game unique. The somber background music takes us back to that very Gears 1 trailer, how Marcus looked to be in a desperate state with death creeping at every corner. Yes, he is our hero, but he is not invulnerable. The E-Day trailer gives us that same vibe, but to a greater degree. Marcus is literally getting his ass handed to him. You can literally see the fear and desperateness on his face. Unlike previous Gears titles where Marcus has been fighting the Locust for many years now, in this particular scene, he is encountering a Locust drone for the very first time. So he is fighting with every ounce of his strength in order to defeat this new intimidating foe. And speaking of the Locust, we see that this is actually just an ordinary drone that is bodying Marcus. Previously, they were considered to just be fodder, but the devs have stated that they are reworking Locust altogether, making them a much scarier and intimidating foe. We see in the trailer that the drone has gotten considerably buffed, being able to toss fully armored Marcus around like nothing. A taller stature combined with a scarier and more detailed face sets the Locust up to be a formidable foe in this game, a literal walking nightmare. And this is just a regular drone. I can't wait to see what they do with the Theron Guards and the Berserkers, for example. The devs have also already confirmed that the game is returning back to good old faithful, a linear story-driven experience, no open world like how they had in Gears 5, as well as certain aspects like how the game is set in the city of Kelowna, but don't get too attached to the city because they plan on literally tearing the place apart, taking Unreal Engine 5 to its maximum capabilities, kind of like how Gears of War 1 was on the Xbox 360. Many people took to Twitter to discredit the trailer by calling it another pre-rendered CG piece, but they were promptly rebutted by many of the actual people that are working on the game. That very scene that we all witnessed actually uses assets directly from Unreal Engine 5, the same engine that the game will be played on, so we are guaranteed to have a masterpiece of a game visually. They also plan on having a more modern take on the game, which may scare some fans, but I think it is the right move, utilizing all the assets that they have, taking certain excelling gameplay mechanics from Gears 4 and 5, then combining that with the somber tones of the OG Gears games. They have heard enough criticism from the fans to now know what they need to do in order to make this the perfect Gears of War game. And by the way, thank you the Coalition for bringing back the whole government name. Saying Gears of War E-Day just leaves a good taste in my mouth.
What do you mean by that?
Here are some early theories that I got that might appear in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if they started off the game like how they started off Gears of War 4, by letting you play through a portion of the Pendulum War. Maybe we start off playing as Marcus in the Pendulum War with Dom's brother Carlos, because at the time, he was Marcus's best friend, not Dom. We may even get the very scene of Carlos's death, which will eventually draw Marcus and Dom closer as friends as they both mourn over their fallen brother. As for the characters that may appear, we're obviously going to have Marcus and Dom, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ty joins the group, as he is also one of Marcus's longtime friends. And you know what? I'm calling it right here and now. The fourth squad member is going to be none other than D. Carmine. I don't know how, but I'm just gonna throw it out there just in case I'm right. Unfortunately, the duo doesn't meet Baird or Cole until 14 years after E-Day, so I thought they will make an appearance in this game. The only way that I could see it happening is maybe we get different perspectives during the events of E-Day. Maybe Cole is in the middle of a thrashball game and all of a sudden an E-hole pops up on the field, so you gotta play as him for one chapter. If anything, they will only make an appearance through comms, similar to how Marcus was heard in Gears of War Judgment requesting help from Kilo Squad.
This is Omega 2. We're a little roasted, but clear.
As for the enemy appearances, don't be surprised if we see the return of the heavy stepper himself, General Rom. Being one of the most badass villains in all of gaming, making appearances in other titles such as Killer Instinct, as well as fans requesting him to become a killer in the infamous game Dead by Daylight. He is a fan favorite. I could see him popping up and giving Dom and Marcus some trouble. I also hope that they use this opportunity to bring my boy Jermod in, who is an underrated villain that we only get to see in the comics. He is an expert marksman and could be used as another formidable foe, taking out Carmine family heads left and right. Now for the elephant in the room. The game takes place on E-Day, which is definitely before the iconic Lancer that we know and love was made. Assuming they stay true to the lore, unlike Judgment, they will likely leave the Lancer out of this game. My best guess is that the Retro Lancer will take the helm as head primary weapon, continuing to be a spray and pray type. But like how we saw in the trailer, perhaps we will be given the option to remove the bayonet and make the Retro Lancer more accurate, similar to how the Chainsaw Lancer shoots. The Lancer isn't created until like a year into the Locust War, so it is unlikely that it makes an appearance in this game. They will also more than likely retcon certain details we have learned in previous games, like how for some reason after 14 plus years of war against the Locust, Marcus doesn't know about Theron guards.
Those aren't drones.
Oh, shit. Looks like they upgraded. They're called Theron guards.
Berserkers,
Oh, shit. Quiet. Don't move with that. A berserker.
or Cantus.
What are these guys? I don't care. Just shut them up.
And I doubt that they will leave any of those enemies out of the game, so we are probably just gonna ignore his statements in Gears of War 1 and 2. Gears of War E-Day is literally the perfect game for both old and new gen players. Unlike with what Gears 6 would have done, new players won't have to play all of the previous Gears games in order to be caught up in the lore to play the new one. Gears of War E-Day is a prequel, so you can jump straight into it with no prior knowledge of the other games, therefore leaving no excuse for people to not want to play the game and experiencing the franchise at its pinnacle of Gears experiences. As for the OGs, this is what we have been asking for since the Cliffy B days, so OG fans and even transition to PlayStation fans are all banding together in excitement for the revival of the series. One last thing, Marcus's redesign itself may very well be the console seller, because I'm not gonna lie, he had me swooning. He ain't a rugged almost 40-year-old here, he's a young 22-year-old man, and him without his bandana got me acting some type of way. And I don't even swing that way.
Sensei, I don't swing that way.
Here's to the future of Gears of War. We are so freaking back. But that's all for the video, gang. Let me know what you guys thought of not only the Gears of War E-Day trailer, but the showcase altogether. And let me know what you guys thought of my video in the comments below. I'm working on another Why It Was Great styled video that will be out very soon, so keep a lookout for when that drops. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment what you thought, subscribe if you aren't already, and like always, I'll see y'all all in the next video. Babbage out.